All right, guys. I thought things were kind of corrupt and bad, but I didn't realize the extent to which that exists, and I'll explain that here in just a second. But first, yesterday I was on the Dr. Drew. Some of you guys remember Dr. Drew Pinsky. He's been popular for many, many years, and we had a nice discussion about diet, exercise, and nutrition. One of the concepts we came up with was talking about the fact that, what's sort of the standard operating procedure for many of these pharmaceutical companies is they tend to overpromise and underdeliver. That is to say, they hype up a drug and they downplay the lack of efficacy or perhaps the negative side effects. And it's really up to the clinicians over the years to sort that out. And we're seeing some of this with this new medication, these GLP-1 receptor agonists, the Ozempics and Mounjaros and things like that, where we're seeing all these increasing numbers of sort of negative outcomes, and that's not shown during the FDA approval process. So that's interesting. But on to the point about the sort of the depth of the corruption. Now, as some of you guys know, I've been talking about a new study that came out that sort of invalidated a previous study. So there's a previous study done in 2021, 2 years ago, which basically was a metabolic ward study, and they claimed that a plant-based low-fat diet was basically better than an animal-based ketogenic diet, right? And that was run in the news media. It got a lot of attention, and it ran its course. But a new analysis was done on the same data, and it shows that they made a glaring error, an incredibly important error that completely changes the conclusion of the study. And that study was recently published, and no media outlet has picked it up. And so, as part of what I want to do is share that information. So a lot of you guys were kind enough to share it on social media, particularly on Twitter, where it has the most impact. And so many of you guys have retweeted it. And there's an impact score. It's called an altmetric score. And prior to January 2nd, when we started talking about this, the score from the original study was 819. And the study that with the reanalysis was 166, and through the efforts of getting it out there on social media, we raised the score to where it was going to pass the original study, which is important. I think the new data should supplant the old incorrect data, right? But here's the interesting part: presumably the authors of the original paper don't like the fact that their information is being, I guess, superseded with more correct information. They want this narrative to stand, perhaps. And so what amazingly happened, something I think I can't fathom how this could happen, but they were able to get 30 news outlets to recover the story, right? A 2-year-old paper, 30 new news outlets suddenly jumped on there in an effort to sort of keep this one at the front, which shows there is clearly a narrative. There is clearly a preferred outcome within the news media. It is bought, it is corrupted, on everything you think, and worse. I mean, I'm just shocked that 30 news outlets would be willing to cover a 2-year-old paper in effort to sort of suppress, new and better information, which is, perhaps, much more. And no, not a single news outlet up to this point has covered up that new paper. Which again, that is why you and I, and those that care about this have to do it. We have to do the job. We have to outdo the media, and fortunately there's more of us than there are media outlets. I think the media outlets get, a sort of extra credit. They get their impact is more than one individual, but with enough of us, we can do that. And so once again, I'm linking this study. I'd like you guys to share it on social media, particularly Twitter. That is such an important place. It has such an important impact. So if you could go ahead and take the link that's in the description, share it on Twitter. Let's get this number past the other one, so the truth can prevail. And so this sort of media manipulation, as you guys know, happens all across the board about all numbers of things. The preferred narrative is what you're going to hear, but the people have the last say. All right, guys. Have a great day. Today's day 5 on World Carnivore Month. I think I'm going to be having a ribeye steak for breakfast. I've got a documentary team coming to the house today. We're going to film some stuff as well. And so staying busy, guys. I got research meeting this morning. Also podcasts, consultations. Anyway, typical day. And of course, getting after it in training. All right, we'll see you soon. Thank you very much.